is 10 o'clock on February 3rd, and I'm calling the Public Awareness Personnel Policy Committee of the Vallecitos Water District to order. Do we do a roll call?
No, not for committee, there's no roll call, but there's notice to the public. And then there's no public in the waiting room, I believe, so you could skip the public comments.
Okay, so we have no public comments today, and so we have 2 items on the agenda for discussion. So let us listen to what we have to say about the draft board report for public sector vacancy rate.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hand this forward to our director of admin, Denise Aviles, and this is something that is actually a state requirement now. And this is not the full report, but this is also kind of a sneak peek at the report that we go to the full board at a later date and looking for any comments and just kind of questions on it.
Yep, thank you, General Manager Compound. So this presentation you saw last year. Last year was the first year that it became enacted, January of 2025. And so basically what we have to do is we need to report out our workforce information, vacancy, recruitment, hiring issues, strategies, retention issues and strategies every year before board adopts the budget for the next fiscal year.
Okay.
So this will be going back to board for full board to review, I think it's in March before you guys see budget. It's similar to last year, so we did add a couple of new things this year. So we'll be going over the requirements and reasoning, which would be the requirements is the AB 2561. It was added to the MB&A. It basically goes over the status of vacancies, recruitment and retention efforts, and any necessary changes to policy procedures and recruitment activities. Our reasoning for the AB 2561 is still basically the same. It's to discuss with the board job vacancies, why do we have those vacancies? What kind of impact does it give internally and externally to our customers? And then any labor relation concerns, like how is it for staff?
Mhm.
All right, so workforce information. So this is a draft that you guys are looking at. So there's going to be some gaps in here. It's the information that is in here is current, and we'll kind of go over the gaps and we'll have it all cleaned up for March presentation. So total budgeted authorized full-time positions was 109.5. We reduced that to 108.5 in October of 2025 because we took our 2 senior engineering positions and made them into a manager. So that created 1 position for 2. Also, our employee association, the bargaining unit, was at 99.5, and it, of course, because of the 1 position, was reduced to 98.5 in October of 2025. The remaining employees that are not in the association, we have 5 directors, 4 unclassified staff, and of course the general manager. So in this report, we're looking at vacancy statistics. So as you look across something new that we've added, because I think it's important for us to compare the numbers to something instead of just giving you numbers like we had to last year. We're going to be comparing this year's to last year's. So for retirements, we had 6 retirements. That was an increase from 25 of 3. Our resignations stayed the same. Term with cause stayed the same. We had 4 introductory period vacancies. That was an increase by 1. Promotion and transfers, we increased by 5. So we had 7 this year. So that's really good news.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to kind of key on that, so introductory period, and clarify this, is just people who didn't make it past their introductory period.
Correct.
And then this promotion transfers, it really signals internal staff getting new opportunities. As people retire, there's vacancies, we're able to fill them with internal staff. So this is actually a really good news for staff in general.
What we really focus on for room to improve on or to investigate more is the resignation area, which we dive down deeper. So the vacancy statistics on the next page kind of goes through the number of vacancies and what months they were created. Just keep in mind, just because we had these vacancies open up on the previous slide, they could also have some rollover positions from the previous year that rolled into this year. So you may see more vacancy numbers than the vacancies that happened within that year.
Yeah, and also just to clarify, when there's an internal promotion, it adds to the vacancy number. It's not a person,
Of course.
so you promoted them, but then you create another vacancy.
Yeah.
So it looks like you have more vacancies that you did because you end up
It's a big
doing
chunk.
something good because you promoted somebody.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so these are just kind of the numbers and the percents for each month through 2025 for you guys to review.
And the board may recall from my monthly updates, the community members may recall that, you know, we were talking about, hey, we with all the retirements and shuffling, we had quite a bit of vacancies going through 2025, so.
And you'll see that the number of the FTEs budgeted does adjust towards the end of the year in October when we adjusted those FTEs. So
Okay.
you'll see that go down, which then will change our percents. All right, so the next slide that we look at is vacancy statistics for resignations only. So on the previous slide, when you saw that there was 6 resignations, we had a total of 6. The top line here is does add up to the number 6. So you'll see where those vacancies fell in each month where we had those 6 vacancies. Okay, next slide is the 2025 recruitment statistics. So I love this. So this year we added to compare to last year. So we had 24 recruitments this year, 20 for 2025, which was an increase of 7 compared to 2024. We had our average days from post to hire is 73, so we were able to knock it down by 19 days. Our longest recruitment was 112 days this year. It was our purchasing utility billing manager, and the reason that it took longer is because as one of our strategies you'll see for hiring, we've added testing to our recruiting, skills testing and assessments, and so because they had multiple assessments for this particular recruitment, it did extend it out a little bit. Our shortest recruitment was 12 days last year. It was for a GIS position where we had somebody transfer into the same area in the position. We were able to do transfers and promotions very quickly in the recruitment process, obviously. Our average applications we received for all of our positions in 2025 is 48.25, which is very good.
It's an average over.
Over-
each position.
Yes,
Correct, so it would be over the 24 recruitments.
and that's an excellent number.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was surprised.
Most applications, the most applications was 157, and that was for our IT business analyst 2 position. And the least applications, we had 5 for our senior pump and motor tech and our capital facilities senior engineer. Because we had such a low, that's when you saw the senior facilities engineer position get combined with the development and created the manager. All right, so our hiring issues and strategies. Our hiring issues, the main roadblocks are still the same as last year. We're still in a highly competitive market, and compared to the privates, you know, we have to compare ourselves. We compete with the private sector, and the rules and governance that goes with government is a little different for people in the private sector to understand. Limited candidate pools for our skilled positions and engineering positions are difficult. The high cost of living in our surrounding area. And then once hired, a mismatch between public and private sector. So that's where you see those introductory period people being released, is because they were just, once they came in, they weren't a great fit. There was other issues.
How long is that introductory period?
A year. So we work very, during that year, we do touch bases with the employee, with the new hire. We also have a 6-month eval that we do with them. And then we do an annual eval. We also meet with the general manager close to when they could be released to make sure we're on point with everybody.
We actually do it twice. We do a 6 months touch base between the hiring supervisor, manager, and myself as GM. And then we do basically around a 10, 11 month check-in because, this is the introductory period. Employment decisions are big decisions, and we want to make sure we have the right people in the right position. So this is kind of that opportunity to say, how's this person doing? So.
Is there benefits during that period?
No. Oh, yes, they get medical benefits,
Right away.
but yes, they get medical benefits, but there's.
Yeah, the current MOU, they get all the normal employee benefits, but there's
From
certain,
day one or from
from
30
day
days
one,
in?
but there's certain things
30
like,
days in, yes.
yeah, 30 days in, but there's certain things like the 457
That's
match
what I was, yeah.
and some of our incentive programs that they don't.
Telecommute.
And
Telecommute that
telecommute.
are not until you
Yep.
pass your introductory period
Yeah, we need them here to make sure.
and assess them and
Yeah,
have them learn our culture.
Interesting.
So this is the page I was talking about also where we were talking about hiring strategies. So our strategies for 2025, we added a new staff member, Veronica. So she's been so helpful that we've been able to give her a lot of work. So that's freed Bridget so we can work on succession planning, supervisor training, we can work on higher level things and recruitments. We're starting to train our Veronica on like entry level screenings for recruiting and things like that. So that's going to help Bridget a lot to relieve her of the pressure of with the recruitments that are going on because we have quite a few happening. We've also implemented skills-based assessments to strengthen evaluation during recruitment. I believe in hiring a well-rounded person, not somebody who can just come in and, nail an interview because they've practiced.
Sure.
I like to see that they have the skills to back up their interview. So we've added skill testing to many positions. We've also implemented eligibility lists. We waste a lot of time having to go back if we have, like, let's say a construction worker that we're hiring and we have 3 people that we need to hire for 3 positions. We actually just did this. We were able to, they hired, let's say the 2 guys they needed, some guy left, so they had a 3rd position. We did not have to repost or go back out because we've already vetted out the list of people that we had. We've already, most of them we've interviewed for the ones that passed through, and we just keep them on hold until we're ready to recruit for more people. Then we call them up, hey, are you still interested in the position? Yes. The supervisor can either choose to interview them, or if he remembers what they were, not interview them, and then we can move down the list. We just had it happen. It saved a ton of time. We were able to hire another construction worker, actually 2, without having to go back out and post because we've created this list. So right now we have a list that will be like 3 to 6 months. I'm kind of waiting to see what it looks like and how fast we go through a list because we've never done it as that I'm aware of here. So I need to kind of see what that looks like and how it shakes out. But so far it's been very successful and we've added in as part of our hiring strategy.
Yeah, matter of fact, for our entry level, more traditionally entry level positions, we seem to be getting a lot of applicants very quickly and a lot of qualified applicants. So having this list, granted, some of them may have already obtained other employment, but if we find good applicants on this list, basically it saves time, money, effort to get new people on board. And I think the idea that Denise has implemented is great, and obviously we'll go through some learning curves with it, but overall it's been beneficial so far.
Do we have a temp pool where?
So it's not like the school district where you would have a temp pool. We, in water districts, they usually don't, especially because they're very streamlined, very low staff numbers. It's not like a school district where you would have 3,000 to 4,000
Sure.
employees. This is small, we have 100.
Right.
So we don't, I would like to have a temp pool. I am working around kind of having some people that we can call on to have help. But no, we do not have we don't do temp pools.
We did create a project specific temp position that's already been created and approved by the board, which staff could use if something came up. And then we
Project based.
And then we go out for that
Okay.
project, just
Yeah.
when that person comes in and finishes that project, and then when they're done with that project, he or she was then dismissed.
And that's newer here because a lot of things you're talking about are like from school districts and cities.
Yeah.
And I have experience in both. So bringing those to a water district, you have to,
Think
they don't
slowly,
understand
yeah.
and you have to kind of explain it and take it slowly, you take baby
Yeah.
steps, so.
Or, I don't know, for skilled workers that we might need for a short term or something like that.
Yeah,
then
we do have
like
temp
an-
agencies for water workers that we go to.
Okay,
So they actually have water temps out there.
Right now, it's for like skilled, like certified workers, they're in the industry, they're pretty much gainfully employed, or they're working for a temp agency where they will come and get paid at a premium
Mhm.
to work at an agency for 3 months or something to that effect.
okay.
So there's not like a pool of people that, just wanna work part-time.
Right.
Yeah, school districts have
So
that.
we do have, there are agencies that keep a
That we can
running
call on.
list of people that have water.
That are actually,
based-
yes, so it would be like an Apple One, but for water people.
Okay,
Mhm.
You usually
Okay.
subcontractor, right? Is it-
No, I mean, well, there's a basically, we use this like a temporary temp agency for
Water.
for water, for
Electrical.
Meter reading and
yeah,
stuff like
meter
that, right?
reading, different
Yeah.
things.
Oh, for those.
For customer service, we've done different things, so especially as, we've had people go out on, maternity leave,
Yeah.
so it's,
That's
we're
what I
gonna
was
put in
thinking
a
about.
temporary person, and then when that person comes back, we release a temporary person.
So I know you used Kim for a while, she's still on a temporary basis? or-
No, that
She
was
kind of done her-
different, that was retired. and
She's
new.
a retired
Yeah,
annuitant,
that was done.
and they have
Done her-
different rules.
Yep.
done
Yeah.
her project, that was during the
yeah,
fall
cause they can
season.
only work so long.
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
960
Yeah.
hours within a fiscal year,
Yep, and that was.
otherwise it messes with the retirement.
Yeah.
That's when the general manager didn't have a
A nobody.
board secretary or assistant, so.
He was going to Bridget, and I was like, we can't have you going to Bridget. I need Bridget.
Oh, that's her.
So the people that do come from those agencies, are they, I mean, do we hire them as like an independent contractor?
So
Or how,
we
what's their
hire
status?
we hire the agency,
Well,
the
it's-
agent,
It's not agency, it's a company.
well, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, when I hear agency,
kinda
I
know
think
what you're
another,
talking about.
another water district, isn't it?
Oh,
No,
no,
no, no, I
it's
understand.
a temp
Yeah.
agency.
Oh, temp
They call it
agency.
temp
I was
agency.
like,
Yeah.
Agency.
Yeah, it's an agency.
And-
So we hire the agency, then we tell them, oh, we need such and such.
Okay,
They'll send
okay.
us some applicants to interview and their applications. And then we
Okay.
can review them, we interview them, and then we can pick who we want. They pay them.
They pay the
Yep.
person,
We do not
okay.
pay them.
Yeah, I was wondering
We
about
like, will
that.
check their time card off, approve their time. A
Okay.
lot of times they'll say, okay, well, they're gonna work 20 hours a week, so they'll only get paid for 20 hours a
Sure.
week.
Okay,
And they pay them because we pay the overhead for the company,
okay,
the
Like-
agency.
Like Jose, the meter reader, he was hired full-time, but
Yeah,
he was a temp
that
agency
happens.
guy, wasn't he?
And we had one of our customer service reps.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times the
Alejandra.
temp agency staff that they send and we have the opening will apply and they have a better chance of getting the job because they've actually
Sure.
worked the position.
yeah,
So, and it's always fun when we are able to do that.
Especially if they've been performing well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know, it saves a lot of time and money
yes.
rather
already
than
know, yeah.
hiring
And retraining.
a new person
And in water, we need water people. So we need
Right.
people who, we don't need just, somebody
Yes.
off the street. We need somebody who knows water
Has
and
an
what to do.
understanding,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, we have very little true entry level positions here at Vallecitos. We're only having 100 employees and the size of our operations. Even our entry level positions are 1 or 2 steps above entry compared to like a big city.
Right,
Yeah.
So.
okay, thank you.
all right, next slide. So this slide is one that we're still working on. I have to figure out strategies to keep the employees. But the reasons for the voluntary separation was one was for relocation, one was for better pay, one was for a position closer to home, and 3 were for personal family matters.
So without divulging 3 personal families, is it like health, a family member?
Well, for instance, one family had some adopted kids that they were taking care, that they were
That had
Uh,
challenges.
that had challenges, and so it was too hard to work and then try to go to all the meetings and all the things you have to have for special needs children. And then because they were not adopted, but they were
For
Foster
kids, right?
Fostering, yeah,
Foster,
thank you. For fostering, there was other things that they had to do, so that would be one example.
And do we, I mean, do we do, like, post work? I mean, do we send them an evaluation, how come you left, or?
We do
Is
an
that
exit
exit.
interviews.
Okay,
Yeah, we have an exit interview form, and then we try to have them meet with James if they would like to meet with James.
It's offered, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at this list, really, one's for better pay, relocation was out of
Sure.
state.
Yeah, I was
And the position closer to home was, there's obviously a nexus there, and then obviously 3 was for personal family, so.
Yeah.
So, looking at this number from my perspective, it looks pretty good for Vallecitos. Doesn't mean there's still not strategies we need to do and things that
Mhm.
need to refine, but as
Yeah.
far as there doesn't seem to be a endemic issue. So
yeah,
And none of these
Yeah.
were in the introductory period.
I don't think those.
No.
Yeah. 'Cause
No, because it would have been in those separate numbers.
Yeah.
These are the 6 that were across here.
The introductory period that's usually not voluntary, we say no thank you.
That's,
We initiate
yeah,
So we don't give them an opportunity to say, I wanna leave for better
resign,
pay. So,
yeah, we're like, no, we already got rid of you, we're good,
so,
please
I'm
don't
sure
call
you
us.
I'm sure you could find better pay somewhere else.
I encourage you to. Okay, so I have to work on that slide more. And then the conclusion, I'm gonna take a look at this, but basically we're still the same as 2024. Our vacancy rate doesn't trigger any additional requirements. We still have healthy turnover. And we've implemented budget retention strategies that directly respond to employee needs, which I'm gonna write that area. And then we still remain competitive to attract and retain top talent. And I think we really hone in on that every year that goes by. I think we really work on that.
only difference this year is with the some of the changes that are going on with the employees association. You might have a representative that comes to the board to see employee. The purpose of this is to present this in front of the governing body so that the employees association can come and talk about it or make other comments if they should choose. So that may, I don't know if that's going to happen, but that is something that's the original.
They
intent.
could come, yeah.
Yeah.
So when we bring this in March, there's a potential that there could be a representative who would speak during public comment.
They may just come listen.
Correct. I mean, there's nothing in here that causes any flags, so I would think no. But
Yeah, I'm sure there was when the state made the legislature, I'm sure there was a nexus for something that happened.
yeah, I'm sure.
Where
This is a reaction.
Yeah, where they said, okay, well, the governing body needs to know, and so therefore, but from our perspective, Vallecitos, this is just the work that Denise and her staff are doing, and they're continuing.
Right.
So
And it is kind of fun to see how we compare year
Well,
to
yeah.
year and to see are we doing better, where's the gaps, where can we do better?
Right.
Is there anything from the presentation that you guys would like to see on there that I haven't put in here? Do you have any thoughts about it?
No, you did a great job.
I think,
You really did.
having the stats from 2 years and comparing them is really helpful, as like you said, last year, just having
The numbers, it didn't
one
mean anything.
one number, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean like, well, did we do better or worse, or, what does this mean really?
Yeah,
I'm just curious, like, when we turn all this information in, who reviews it and
turns it in
no,
where,
nobody.
so this is just for our own personal benefit?
This is just
Oh.
a state requirement
Yeah.
that creates a report to our governing board
Oh,
to make
It
things
doesn't go
transparent.
anywhere.
So I think at the end of
Yeah.
the day,
So we're the ones that have to say, wow, this is.
yeah. Denise,
okay.
what are you doing? We have 56
Yeah.
vacancies.
Yeah.
Why do we have
Why
56?
can't we?
And I'll be like,
Or-
well, I can explain.
yeah, or if there was something systemic, like we had a bunch of vacancies and they all left for just
Right,
because of pay. You had 25 people leave
yeah,
for a single reason, or 25 people leave that said, hey, the working conditions
That's
or
right.
something like
Yeah.
that. Then this is an opportunity for the governing body to say, hey, what's going on?
yes,
So-
so if
So
we,
you don't have to
Yes.
send this into any state agency.
No.
No, there's no, the oversight and review is.
is us,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Alright.
Well, and it's also to take it's also for you guys to know that we're transparent, right? Cause it's
Absolutely,
HR and
yeah,
recruiting
of
and we're a
course.
government agency. And I don't think there was a lot of transparency before. So now it's just forcing us to be transparent and be like, okay, here's what the facts are.
Right.
Here's where the openings happened, here's why they happened, and here's what we're doing to fix the openings.
And the good news is majority, not all, but majority of this was already being tracked by
Yeah.
Bridget and
Yes.
Denise. Anyway, so this just, now they had to just put it into a
Yeah.
presentation.
Well, that's what I
Yes.
was gonna ask. Weren't you already tracking
Yes.
this? You just had it in the presentation form?
It just
Yes.
wasn't,
So how much time, if you don't mind me asking, how much time is spent actually putting together the presentation?
$10,000, just kidding.
I know.
No, I'm joking, I'm
Is it-
joking.
Well,
is it a
we
large
worked with,
amount?
Bridget has worked with IT, so they've created a dashboard.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes, so we have
So
a
it's just
dashboard that she can go in, and because we only had one person doing recruiting, she knew everything, because she was the only one doing it.
So it's just organizing the data that's already been collected on a regular basis.
The
AI
first
or whatever.
year, the first year took more time, but since the
Because we didn't know,
the
yeah.
template is created, we had to create the template the first year. Now it's almost self-builds, and then you probably have to.
And then we
spend-
can hone in on it, and like, I wanna change, I don't think this is attractive PowerPoint anymore, so I wanna like change the PowerPoint.
So it hasn't become a burden, I guess is where I'm going.
No, I
It's
think
been
it's good,
enlightening.
actually, I think it's great information.
And it's been enlightening.
Mhm.
So when it's all in front of you, you actually feel, okay, yeah, so we need to improve on
Yeah, and I
this.
love telling you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what we've done for a whole year,
Right.
it is. And I like comparing, I didn't like it the first year, because I was giving you numbers that you had nothing to compare it to.
yeah.
So I'm figuring as we go on in the years, we'll have like a
Right.
graph thing, or like a chart, and we'll be able to see, okay, this year, we started sliding this year, we gotta pick it up, like, that's what I'm
And
thinking.
Director Penny, you're gonna see a similar presentation with different numbers from Ed Cena and Director
Just saw
Kirschbaum. Oh, you already saw it?
We
Okay.
just had our meeting.
Oh,
Well, I'm on an ad hoc committee about the cost of the plans, benefits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and then obviously Director Kirschbaum will see something similar at the Water Authority. So
Well, that's what, so is this public information?
once
once it's presented,
once
yeah.
it's
Once
presented, yeah.
It would be interesting, I don't wanna do any
Actually,
additional
it's public now.
to compare not only year to year,
But
but
to
also
other
agency to
agencies.
agency.
Yeah.
So,
And I
we
know
do-
that gets a little muddy.
Yeah, because not all agencies will share it, but we did have a comparison chart last year that's put together by a single agency, and they took all the names off. And that chart last year showed Vallecitos with the best retention numbers amongst about 8 or 9 other agencies. If it gets updated by the same agency, withholding all the names, then we'll add it to the presentation, but if it doesn't, not all agencies
They don't share.
want to share it.
I don't wanna add
Of
another
course.
thing which requires
Yeah.
additional time and money
Yeah.
and for, resources, but it is enlightening,
Yeah.
somewhere how we compare.
Well, last year we were number one as far as the best retention, the lowest turnover rate. But every year will be different. And to be honest, the 7 promotions created 7 vacancies. So that number itself may be misleading.
Yeah,
Because it looks like we had 7 more vacancies.
But we,
If we fill those 7 vacancies with outside people, we'd have 7 less recruitments. Which is when you only have 100 people, that's significant.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, when you
Elimination.
compare it to like big school districts or
That's
something,
right.
it's like,
Yeah, well, we look at a percentage,
Right,
so
yeah.
there's the only way, but still, it's, you have a lot more movement. And if, when you have a smaller agency, you have a significant amount of retirements, and
yeah,
so the number, that 7 promotions, that's a significant number for us.
yeah, I love that, that's a great number for us, that 7, that really speaks to our leadership team. The
yes.
supervisors, the managers that are helping guide these staff, that 7 is really good.
Well, I think this is a good recruitment tool as well, to say, here's our records. So if you do,
You are interested.
if you do wanna come and work for Vallecitos, you're gonna be working in an organization that has opportunities. And I really like the way that you are problem solving and trying to pull those 2 positions together.
Yeah.
Because, how long can you, if you identify a position that you really need, how long can you go without it?
Yeah,
without getting into big trouble or,
Yeah.
you know,
and we try not to go too long because we don't wanna also stress our supervisors, managers, or directors out having to carry the load of
Yes.
whatever gaps they
Or the
have.
staff underneath them too,
Yeah.
because
Right.
it stretches everybody.
everybody
Mhm.
pays the price for that.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you.
Good job.
This is very exciting.
This is for information only and comments, so we'll go ahead and move forward on this, and this will be refined and finalized and then presented at a future board.
Okay, so possibly in March.
I think I have it scheduled for March, I
Yeah.
think, because we have to do it before
Yeah,
budget.
yeah, long,
I
it's
think
gonna
it's
be
March.
between March and May, basically,
Okay.
anytime we do before budget, that's the statute, but we
Okay.
try and get it in March or April,
Sure,
so.
okay, thank you, you're welcome, thank you, thanks for all the work on that. Okay, and the next item on our agenda is the quarterly outreach update.
Yeah, so as the committee already is well aware, Chris and his team, although his team is
A little,
-1 now.
keep going left. Keep going left.
To the T,
That.
yeah, there you go.
That's a little slideshow guy, so click on that guy.
So, this first presentation for this year's P3 is really a quarterly update, kind of overview of what Chris and his staff are doing. And I will hand it over to you, right? They just gotta share it.
Yes.
Oh, so that the
No, don't go into the share settings. Go and exit out. Go, first go back to the presentation. Put it into presentation mode, which is the button down below. The same one that you pressed, up the one that looks like a TV right there, yep. Now, hit the Windows bar.
Complicated.
right?
Okay, go to your Zoom, down there, yep. Okay, click on the Zoom webinar. Okay, go, just hit the share, the arrow, not the side arrow, the middle, no, not this, yep. Okay, and then pick,
The big one.
awesome, and just put share. Perfect. Okay, now it's showing, and then you can just move the green screen. You don't have to do that, I think you're good now.
Hide video.
Yeah, no, it's up, you're good to go.
Super.
Awesome.
Okay, so you can go ahead and go to the next slide. Thanks for doing that. This is
But I think you can remove that bar, or are you gonna talk with it there?
You can just stop with that.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, no, down,
Hide floating.
That one.
lead controls.
Yeah. there you go.
There you go.
I feel like you touched anything.
Right?
Alright,
Okay, so this is sort of a little new. Every P3 committee does things a little differently. But this is sort of a kind of look back at 2025. I'm gonna look forward into the first quarter of 2026. So the first thing I wanted to point out was the big award that we got from Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, the One Water Award. That was our effort with CWA and then some consultants, but we got a lot of landscape replaced out at Lake San Marcos, where there was a lot of
Thank you.
unused turf that was removed and swales put in. And there was certainly a nexus with a lot of the HOAs wanting to keep up with the Joneses. So, once one HOA did it, then the other ones did it. And Alicia created a kind of a suite of videos to be able to share with the HOAs to get them on board. There's still more HOAs. There's a lady that was calling me just yesterday having some questions about how it will get done and what they need to do, and decisions that that board of directors at that HOA will need to make. So that's our big thing for 2025, that nice One Water
That's
Award.
very nice.
And very clever in that they were trying to be sustainable. This was a tree that was diseased on NWD property, had to be taken down, and then they used some of that actual tree that was failing to make the actual plaque for that award. So that's really cool. You can go on to the next one. So social media, I pulled out the 3 highest social media things that we had for 2025. This was kind of interesting, and I kind of enjoyed kind of looking at this, so I wanted to share it. So this was the CWEA Award for Community Engagement Project of the Year for the seed library. This was Lisa's clever idea, that seed library out there. And that was one of our highest interactive social media posts. Veronica, we can go to the next one. This one, it looks a little blurry, sorry for the blurry image, but that was a social media post where we renamed Twin Oaks to the Ed Pedrazi Water Facility. So not surprising that Ed's post about being the facility named after him would garner so much interaction from social media.
A lot of past employees.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Past employees.
Absolutely.
Certainly. And then
Doesn't
the
he have a
next
bumper
one,
sticker in the back of his car saying?
right? So this was pretty good too. We had the little earthquake out here, and it wasn't massive or anything, but shake, 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 and then explain to the public, hey, those big Twin Oaks reservoirs have these valves that once the Richter scale reaches a certain level, those things will shut so that all that water stays in the tanks and doesn't come out through the pipes that are broken downstream. So just a chance for us to educate the public, but it was something that everybody was aware of. Everybody was like, oh, the earthquake. So that was a good social media post for us back in 2025. So these are some of the community events we did over the last quarter. I think you're probably all aware of them, but Fire Department Open House, we had the Fall Festival, the Horse Heritage Festival. I think Director Brown was at that. We had the Water Academy that was here, 2 landscape classes hosted at VWD in partnership with VID. We partner typically because it's hard to get enough students to attend the classes. There's kind of a minimum requirement. So if 2 water districts do it, you got better pull to get people to come to the classes. And then we had the Twin Oaks High School Career Exploration. Twin Oaks is the alternative high school, so good to have those students come here. And that was also in partnership with Project Next, which
Yeah.
Director Brown was asking me about. And yes, we do partner with Project Next all the time.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to talk about scholarships later, but I sent the scholarship info to Project Next because they may have contacts that I don't have.
Right.
So went there, and then we did the Kiwanis Holiday Parade. So that's kind of looking back at the last quarter there. Looking forward to the next quarter. So this is a picture of me and Alicia and Lisa. And this was right before Lisa retired, and just kind of like Marty McFly on Back to the Future, I was starting to disappear already, right? Right? I'm just kind of fading out, right? So we are recruiting for Lisa's replacement. Bridget explained we got 94 applicants. So that's a lot of people interested in the position. She sent me a list of 12, looking through it, and then we'll have some interviews. And then Denise was giving me some ideas on some practical exams we would have them go through. So looking forward to having that person come on board. I've lately been doing the social media. It's trickier than you think it is, especially trying to come up with something almost every day. I don't do it every day because you can almost be obsessive and drive people bananas by having something that comes to them every single day. But 5 days a week, I'll give 1 day of break every once in a while. And the different social media platforms that we use Facebook, we use LinkedIn, and we use X, Twitter X, and sort of wondering if we may want to add in Instagram. It's kind of younger people's social media. When we get a new person on board, we may do that. X is sort of fading. I don't know if that's a common thing, but I got some social media info back, and it was basically telling me your Facebook posts do really well and your Instagram posts kind of go nowhere. And I think a little bit with Instagram is sometimes it's
You mean X?
yes, Twitter X, that it's because of the limited amount of characters and things like that, it doesn't necessarily get as much interaction or whatever. I'm not sure I have a great answer to that one. We also monitor next door. We don't.
I
really
was
keep-
just gonna ask you about next door.
We don't really
Um,
keep an account. Next door really doesn't enjoy having corporations engaged in their stuff.
I'm sure.
But
It's not the
I do get
intent.
notification if somebody says, well, Vallecitos did this, so that we can respond to it if needed, so.
Yeah, a lot of times we won't respond to next door unless it's informational, like it's, hey, there's a water main break or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's people doing their thing on
Venting.
next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa will come
Yeah,
to me
they
like,
have a-
let
Yeah,
them vent.
don't touch that.
Yeah, just
No.
leave it, let them air their
Yeah,
whatever.
Lost cat, right?
Yeah.
Lost cat,
Coyote.
coyote spotted, right? Here's one, and then 3 later, it's coyote spotted.
Healthy coyotes.
Right?
Is they
Little
cat?
sad.
I have a cougar picture
Do
from.
you?
our
Oh, coming
neighborhood.
down.
Wow.
Oh, there was one in Veracruz that we saw in the ring, yeah, the cougar.
Big,
Wow.
Yeah.
big.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show it to you after the meeting.
Okay. Looking forward to next quarter, working on a non-functional turf ordinance. It's with BB&K. They're helping me, make sure we get all the i's and dotted and the t's crossed. It'll come to the board at some point for review and implementation. And basically there's timelines where different entities need to get in compliance with non-functional turf. They want the governments to be first, which sort of makes a lot of sense. And then the businesses next, and then the HOAs pretty much last. So it's a ongoing thing. As long as I'm sharing about this, right down the street from us, where the antique store is and Raymond Allen
Oh, I
Furniture,
just saw that.
they're taking out non-functional turf right there. So that's a perfect example. And if you look on the rest of the street, there's a whole heck of a lot of non-functional turf. And the upside is I can point across the street when I'm giving a tour of our garden and say, there's an example of non-functional turf. But they're gonna have to get rid of it at some point. So anyway, yeah, that's a good. Would you back up one? So this is a good example of non-functional turf. It's really hard to mow. It's really hard to irrigate without it going in the gutter. Just that's the kind of thing that the California wants to get rid of, is this grass that's just there for
That's
ornament.
not in San Marcos.
That's not-
No, that's not. I
know,
grabbed
was
that
like,
from
wait a minute,
somewhere.
That looks like the Coachella Valley.
Yeah, all the palm trees and those hills in the background, sure enough. Okay, thanks, Veronica. Okay, so scholarships. Scholarships just got announced yesterday. I put it on social media today. Sent it to all the career centers at the colleges and at the high schools. Sent it to Boys and Girls Club because they have some seniors there. Sent it to Project Next. But I am going to give you both some hard copies. You can obviously get these things as well online, on our website and so forth. But the point being is I can use help if you got some people you want to get it to.
And also, this committee acts as the scholarship review. Once we get the scholarship
Oh.
applications in.
Correct. And I will help screen them.
Do we have
Sometimes
to
applications-
recuse ourselves if we know the students?
Yes,
You do?
unfortunately, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you would. So if you do know the students, then you'd have to recuse yourself.
We have 6 scholarships, and the original intent was one for San Marcos High, one for Mission Hills High, one for High Tech High, and one for Twin Oaks High. And then also the 2 colleges, Palomar and Cal State San Marcos. So that's why there's 6, but sometimes we don't get one from a specific school. And so an additional one can go somewhere. The committee can also decide, well, we didn't really get any great submittals from this school.
Yeah.
And you can send 2 or more from Palomar or whatever. We like to see that there's some sort of connection to water and wastewater,
Sure.
but people work in water and wastewater that aren't specifically going to Palomar to get
Right.
water certification.
So that's the intent. So, engineering science, environmental science, water certificate, they are definitely, they, when we do our cut, they rise to the top. But
one of the reasons for the scholarship, one of the intentions that the board stated was we want to get other professions interested, we hire HR professionals, we hire accountants.
Right.
We hire, if you're IT, if you're a business major, there's still, opportunities here. So we want to get that exposure also. So, obviously if somebody's saying I'm going to medicine, and that's what I want to do, that's probably not a good applicant for us. But if they say I'm going into biology and I don't know what I want to do, well, we have a lab, there's water
Right.
chemistry,
Yeah.
so there's stuff like that. So so we take that into consideration when we look and do our cuts, and then the committee is given the applicants to kind of rank, and then usually we'll have a lunch and we'll go over the applications together over lunch, and after you've already reviewed them, and kind of work through that process before taking it to a full board.
I'll share just the interns that we typically have often gotten scholarships from
Okay,
the
yeah.
district. They've typically worked here, spent a lot of time here, and they're unpaid, and so that's just something that the board has often done in the past. So just for your knowledge, but I can use help getting the word out. I am reaching out and seeing if they want me to come talk at some of the places. They have career centers, and sometimes they have a lunchtime speaker and things like that. So hoping to get a lot. High Tech High has been kind of a tough nut. I went out there one
Okay.
time, talked to a bunch of students, and then got nothing. So
I will see what I can do.
yeah.
We're gonna have these at the Super STEM Saturday at
Yes.
Cal State Center.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, I'm also going to, I'll get into that in a little bit, but I have a Career Connections event this month at Boys and Girls Club. Not every student will be a senior, and that's kind of one of the parameters, but hey, if they're a senior, it's like, here you go, why don't you participate in this? I also will say, I was really happy last year. I think it came through, but we finally got a submittal from Twin Oaks High, which we hadn't got, and it's $2,000, and that can help a student a whole heck of a lot. So we got one submittal, and that one student did get a $2,000 scholarship. So hoping that changed the young man's life.
That's interesting because you'd think Twin Oaks High, there might be a higher percentage of students going into trades or.
Yes.
Go figure.
And the good thing was they actually brought me out to talk about trades one time, and I brought the scholarships with me.
Yeah.
And that's what did it. It's work. I mean, you have to fill it out, and you have to write an essay, and you need to create a financial needs assessment. You got to go talk to somebody and get a letter of recommendation. It's not, it's not just free money. There's
It's not put there.
There's a task.
Click.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a task. So.
But the career centers at the high schools are helping students do these. It's not
Yes.
like they're just, completely left on their own.
Truly.
We have a pretty good system at least in San Marcos.
Right.
At the career centers to help, where some parents may not have the history of helping out like that.
Yes.
But there are staff people that can.
So the due date is towards the end of March, which once we facilitate through it, one of the things I'm always kind of racing is wanting to be able to get the actual check, bring the student here to the board meeting before June rolls around and people disappear for the
leave.
summer.
Yeah.
So that's part of what we're trying to do.
Quick question on that.
There's a timeline.
Have we worked in the past, or is there an opportunity to work with the military at all? Is there like a career center there for guys that have been a few years? And
Well, they do
we're
have-
in water and they're leaving?
They do have military, I think it's called Skill Bridge, or there is a military career connection that we can work with.
Yes, and we have interacted with them, but not specifically on scholarships because that one hasn't played out so well.
Yeah.
But there has been career events that we've gone to specifically for the military when they're trying to transition out.
Right.
But hey, it's a good career to come
That's
here.
more on the recruitment side for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not on the scholarship side, but
Not,
we do.
not so much, yeah.
It just seems like they're so close and they're so well trained in that side.
Yeah,
It'd be a good transition,
Yeah.
easy transition. Yeah, I know it's off topic, but okay.
Sometimes it's an easy transition,
Oh, really? Sometimes.
sometimes it's not an
Gotcha.
easy transition.
And they wouldn't be necessarily eligible for scholarship.
No,
exactly.
yeah,
More
yeah,
appropriate.
Exactly.
But they do have there is a military, water
More than some.
agency connection that you can do.
Interesting.
So looking forward to the next quarter, I'm gonna give you hard copies in case you want to take these. Scholarship contest, I told you about the career day. This is at North County Trade Tech. Somebody somewhere said, hey, would you come out and talk to the students at the Trade Tech? That's kind of in Vista right there, kind of on Melrose, kind of the north side of the 78. And I was like, sure, I'm gonna talk to them. And I don't know if it was maybe a board member that suggested that.
Is that I mean, they teach students how to build a house and do plumbing and those kinds of
I
things?
think it's more of
Yeah.
a trade school and it's a career fair. I'm going to it. I'll put up a booth and, talk to students about careers in water. And I thought it was a good nexus, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
So, I can't exactly remember what the sequence was and how I got connected, but somehow I got connected. So I'm gonna go and spend a half day there.
It's because you're connected.
Yeah.
do we have any
Um,
programs that would be supportive of like children of our employees?
We do have Take Your Kids to Work Day and
And we aren't doing it this year because we tend to get the same children and we have so we're gonna start doing it every other year.
Okay,
It's called Bring Your Kids to Work Day, yeah.
well, I am writing a recommendation for a student who volunteers at the Historical Society, and her mom's a teacher, and it's a CTA, California Teachers Association scholarship. So if your parents are teachers, you have eligibility to apply for this scholarship. So, I don't know.
For the
Oh.
scholarship,
Would that be
we don't have a rule, so if a student, if a child of an employee applies, they don't get a plus or minus one, they're ranked on the same level, but they're not excluded.
Right, but I mean, the water district does not have a student scholarship.
Specific for employees.
Yeah, okay,
and we
I'm gonna add
do
it to this.
we do have I do send the announcement on the scholarship to staff on the internal newsletter because we do have staff that attend Palomar.
Yeah,
So we have had staff here that attend Palomar and got the scholarship.
I was like, didn't we have some employees' kids
Yeah.
have gotten a scholarship,
Yeah,
and they've had to
yeah.
apply, they've had to do all the
Sure,
same things,
they have to
yeah.
go through the whole process,
Yeah,
it's
and
not just
There's
given.
Yeah.
no extra point or stuff, or
Yeah.
point deducted or point added.
Right,
Yeah.
And just to be one thing, with all these different things that we do, us being a utility that have enterprise funds, so it has to be specific, we have to make a nexus argument that it applies to the betterment of water or
water,
wastewater.
okay,
Or wastewater.
it has to be water.
Yeah,
connected,
so
yeah.
so a lot of times in the P3, there'll be ideas that are great ideas, but a lot of times we can't make that easy nexus.
Sure,
Because if somebody
Yeah.
challenges that nexus, then it's the burden of proof.
yeah,
on
I
us,
could
so-
see with a organization this small, that it would be kind of favoritism, but
Yeah,
does
but
does
even
the special districts agencies, do they have scholarships? for-
CSDA, in fact, I
Employees
posted it a
of-
while back, they have like a film contest
Yeah.
for
I know,
special
yeah,
districts in your
right.
neighborhood or whatever. The other thing that is worth me sharing is that the scholarship money does not come from ratepayer revenue. The scholarship funding needs to come from other sources such as lease of our land for cell towers and things like that.
That's actually a great point. However, the time that we spend on it, we still have to make the nexus argument because we're still spending staff time on it and resources. So it doesn't exclude us from that. So utilizing unrestricted funds, it doesn't doesn't exclude us or get us get out of jail free card from having to make that nexus.
Okay, now, is there an endowed amount of money for the scholarship
Yeah,
program?
the board picked $2,000 for a scholarship, and for up to 6 scholarships, so if there's $12,000 available for a scholarship.
It initially was 1,000 and then the board chose to
Yeah.
up it to 2,000.
So, no, but I mean, like, and again, the Historical Society, at one point in time, we had an endowment.
Oh, like people
Yeah.
giving money to.
And then, and you keep that pool of money and universities have this too, you know, kind of like a foundation.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
We don't have a foundation.
No, and we're not allowed to be set up that way because we're strictly an enterprise fund.
Okay,
So everything we do has to be water, wastewater,
okay,
and so.
That's the difference, cause like at schools, that's
Yeah.
where you're talking, is
Yeah.
that's where they do endowments,
Yeah, the
but they have a
foundations.
lot of
Yeah.
people that are philanthropists and they give money
Right.
that's not water.
Matter of fact, even cities have more
Yeah.
flexibilities with their general fund.
right,
And then, so, look, now when I talk with city staff, when they found out that we don't have a general fund, it kind of like blew their mind,
Mhm.
because like, how do you even operate? And
Yeah.
so everything is specific, so everything's earmarked,
okay,
and the money that is not earmarked, we use 99% of that money for like property taxes, cell phone lease, tower leases, other unrestricted funds, what we call it. We use that to offset our tier 1 and tier 2 rates. So,
okay,
so basically we reinvested into
Sure.
our communities,
Into the
our
community.
ratepayers, yeah.
okay.
I think I was at
Well,
career day at Trade
Boys and
Tech,
girls.
homeschool students tour, that's Director
Wow, that
Penix.
even made the count.
Oh, yeah, you know? Well, it's funny, cause then that night I gotta go over to Boys and Girls Club, where they're doing the,
It's gonna be kid day for Chris.
career, yeah, it's all good, you know?
You're so
I like
good.
kids. The, calendar contest starts the beginning of March. We got that Super STEM Saturday at Cal State San Marcos. On the end of March, the landscape classes, we got 2 here with VID again, kind of the spring landscape classes. The spring festival at with the chamber. And then Smart Splash Summer Bash is with the city of San Marcos. It's with their stormwater department. We kind of partner on that, trying to get kids to understand you don't want stuff going in the gutter.
Is that
And-
just at one pool, or isn't that the day that the swimming pool's open?
No,
No?
it's more stormwater than
Oh, okay.
swimming pool. So they're really trying to educate little kids about keeping stuff out of the.
So is that gonna be
storm
at City
drains.
Hall or here?
So no, last time it was over at the park that's, I think it's Sunset Park.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
over close to Vista.
right,
At the splash
So,
pad.
yeah, so there was splash
Done
pad
that.
there. But you know, we had a lot of activities to try and teach children
oh,
about
fun,
keeping things out of the gutter. And then in May, on the 16th, Junior Rangers, which is done with, can I share a funny story? I'm gonna share a funny story. So the Ranger and Junior, James is looking like, what is he gonna do? So the Ranger at Junior Rangers, young lady, you know, probably 30, I'm looking at her and like, she looks familiar. She looks really, really familiar. But you know, I think at the time I was in my 50s still, and we want to be weird, you know, and stare at people. Well, and then this lady came through that was closer to my age and started talking to her, and I realized the ranger that's in her 30s was in my wife's daycare as a child, and I had seen this kid in my wife's daycare, and now she's grown up and she's the ranger out at Jack's Pond. You know, how small of a world is that?
is it Aaron?
Yes,
Oh
Erin was in my wife's daycare.
my gosh,
Yes,
she's
for years.
She's a budding star in the city.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she was a cherub as a little kid, you know, I'd
Yeah.
come home and she'd sometimes still be there, and she's just a little smiley kid, you know, and you realize, oh, I recognize the same smile. She's always smiling, you know, yeah, it's Erin.
She's got, I mean, there's a lot of water connections at Jack's Pond,
Yes,
you know, in terms of just the outreach that they do in the programs.
yeah. So Erin's always super nice and wants me to come out and have a booth at Junior
Yes.
Rangers, and we do kind of an activity for little kids about where can you find water? Is it stored in ice or in rivers or lakes or in the clouds? Where's water stored? So, yeah, that's junior research. And then Trails Day with the city of San Marcos on June 6th. I haven't heard yet about Double Peak Challenge, which is kind of a run that's done by Friends of the Park. It'll probably
It's
be
in the
in
fall,
June,
isn't
I think. Maybe it's in the fall. Maybe I've lost track of time.
And the committee doesn't have to memorize this because Chris does a great job sending out a monthly
Yes.
update of activities. So it really, at the end of the day,
And there's hard copies for you.
you guys will get an update
Yeah.
on a monthly update. So
I think we can go to the next one. I think that's it. So that's the activities coming up. That's the chores I have. And I'm open for discussion. Anything else?
this is mainly an informational item. Obviously, if the committee could think of some things, but keep in mind, everything needs to be framed around the nexus that we have to make for water and wastewater. So right now, everything that Chris is doing and historically done has already been kind of embedded through. Really, I care about the workload with the team, and we still have to reload Chris's team here. So there'll be probably a little bit of a, I don't even know if it's a lull, just a new training, once we get somebody on board. And then kind of, hopefully then we'll start expanding on some of the things that we do, so.
Do we have Vallecitos water volunteers? I know at the last meeting, the garden ladies, the master garden artists and things like that. Do we have a volunteer?
We don't.
No.
That would be city.
Yeah.
Cities do volunteers in school
Yeah,
districts.
we don't do that. Okay.
volunteers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're very, the way the utility agency charts are, it really narrows what we do. That's why I always tell new board members, you're gonna hear no a lot from me, but we'll
Yeah.
always give you a reason.
No, I just wondered in terms of, all the outreach that Lisa and Chris have done over the years that I've been very welcome to be a recipient. But I'm thinking of the native garden out here, and there's the Encinitas Schoolhouse in Encinitas. They have a garden club that actually does all their outside landscaping, and they, it's kind of a good partnership with them. I'm always looking for partnerships.
Sure.
Thank you for all you're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is so exciting. This red line.
You like my Marty McFly now?
I do. You're not fading too quick though. You're still front and center, amigo.
Yeah, we don't have any other items for. the
All
committee.
right. Well, if we have no other items on our agenda, then we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.